Hey guys, today I'm turning an old mesh racket into a signal antenna. Sounds odd, right? Hang on, I'll show you. First step, I'll attach the center pin of the three-way female connector right to the middle of the racket head. To do that, I drill a hole that fits the connector perfectly, right at the center. After drilling, I place the center pin of the three-way F connector into the hole on the outer side of the racket, then tighten the nut to lock it firmly in place. And after drilling, I place the center pin of the three-way F connector into the hole on the outer side of the racket, then tighten the nut to lock it firmly in place. That's the first step done. Now we've got the racket and connector firmly set up, ready for what comes next. Moving on to step 2, making the antenna rods. For the first one, I'm using a tension spring with hooks on both ends. I simply cut off the curved part on one end, then insert that straight end into the center connector of the racket. This isn't wasteful at all. The old spring still has good tension, and the metal conducts signals well. Instead of throwing away, we're turning it into a functional antenna rod, efficient, cost-free, and it even looks clean and purposeful. All right, now I'm making a second antenna rod. I've already prepared a 55 centimeters piece of coaxial cable. You can use the same length as a reference. I've measured beforehand for the best signal performance. Next, I use a knife to carefully split both ends of the cable. One end is short, about the length of a finger joint, while the other is slightly longer. I leave a middle section, around 5 to 6 centimeters, untouched. Now let me explain this step. The shorter end of the cable gets a straight F connector, which plugs into one of the side ports of the three-way F adapter. The longer end, I'll coil it into a spiral shape. That form helps improve signal capture and overall stability. Right now, I've got 3 straight F connectors and 1 90-degree F connector. Everything's ready for the next steps. In this step, I'll use a knife to strip off the outer layer of the cable, then bend the copper core into a spiral shape, just like I mentioned earlier. To shape it into a spiral, I'm using the step drill bit as a guide. You can use anything similar, just something round and firm enough to help you form even, consistent coils. And just one thing to keep in mind, don't coil it all the way. Leave a short straight section at the tip of the antenna rod. Then use pliers to adjust it so it points upward. That's step 2 done. Both antenna rods are now in place, neat, balanced, and ready to go. Step 3, I've got a coaxial cable ready here. On one end, we'll attach a straight F connector and a 90-degree adapter to plug directly into the TV. The other end gets another straight F connector, which will link to the antenna setup we just built. If you're new to this or don't have much experience, take a moment to really focus and follow the wiring steps shown on screen. It's one of the best ways to build your understanding and handle electrical work safely. You might think this video is just a trick or doesn't actually work, but at the very least, you've learned how to handle tools, how to connect components properly, and how to think through each step, right? One end of the cable is now firmly connected to the antenna unit. But looking at the setup, we're still missing a proper base to hold it steady. So that's exactly what I'm preparing next. I've got an old phone stand here, and I'm using it as the antenna base. It's compact, adjustable, and sturdy enough to keep the whole setup steady. But to make it really secure, I'll use aluminum zip ties to fasten the antenna firmly to the stand. It's a simple fix, but it holds everything steady without any wobble. And that's it. The setup is complete. Now, let's take it outside and see how well it performs. After about 5 seconds, the TV screen starts showing the signal from the device. But let's wait a moment to see if the connection stays stable before unplugging and plugging it back in for a proper check. After waiting for a bit, it's clear the device is running smoothly and stable. So this time, I'll unplug it and plug it back in once more, just to make sure everything's solid. So, what do you think? Does that earn your trust? A simple DIY antenna made from a few old parts. Low cost, steady, and it actually works. I'm telling you, once you try making something like this yourself, you'll realize how good it feels to turn scraps into something useful. If you liked it, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps me keep pushing out more creative projects. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll take ordinary things and give them a new purpose. Who knows? Maybe your idea will be the next one I bring to life.